Okay, so it's recording. What is this one? Pause, run, pause. Okay guys, so the recording has started. We will continue now. So let me create the first repo, right? So the project name will be any name, any name you can advise. I will call it MERN. MERN, maybe let's say user, right? Just call it MERN, MERN user, maybe user, or let's call the CRUD. Okay, I mean everywhere you're gonna have CRUD, right? But CRUD CRUD. Okay, we can write full stack web application using MERN, right? This name, I think MERN, let's call it user, basically public, and then I can add the readme file. That's okay. License, no need. That's fine. So let's see. Okay, fine. I will create the repository now, right? So this is my project folder, correct? I will clone this now. Where I can clone. Okay, let me start the project here. So I will just clone somewhere. Open folder, GitHub. Let's clone it inside the GitHub right here itself. Okay, so I can go ahead and then cd dot git clone enter. So I have MERN user here, right? MERN user. Okay, so cd, and I will go to this folder, MERN use MERN, not stack but user. Yeah, so I'm inside this folder now, right? MERN user. I mean, you can see a lot of folder open, so why not do one thing, right? Let's open exactly the folder we are working on. Okay, so open folder from the GitHub and MERN user. Okay, I'll just open that. Clear? So now we are here. So let me open the new terminal, and when I open the terminal, you're going to see the main MERN user, whatever is the root, like main directory in your here, right? What do you call that? Inside your sidebar. Okay, that is what you're going to see in the terminal here. So whatever you create now will be subfolder, right? But we are in the main project folder. So before we start creating the folder structures and all that, let's talk about our project for today, right? Let's go back here. So I have made some notes here. Okay, so mernstack full stack web development, right? There will be backend and front end, correct? Two folder. So the first thing we're gonna handle the backend, right? So you're gonna initialize the project with npm init -y, correct? Means we need a package.json, right, in order to install all the packages. So once we initialize, we're gonna have package.json, and then we're gonna install all the required packages. That is the first thing. Then create the folder structure for MVC development pattern, right? Model view controller. So model view and controller, right? So in our case, view will be the front end part. Okay, this part, right? Front end. But the model view model and the controller will be there, and plus the router, right? Router for routing purpose, and we're gonna have a server file, right? Server file which will make connection to our database. Okay, so you're going to create model folder and models. You're going to create model for your project. You're going to add controller and router, and then you have server, right, to connect all that. Okay, then once you write the API, right, you make sure you test that also in the Postman if that is working or not. So once this part is complete, then we're going to move to the front end part. In front end, see, we have the input field. We just have name, email, and age, right? And that is what we're going to submit. That is our data for today. So when you go to the add user, you're going to have this form, right, where you're going to fill the form and submit. The data will be sent to the backend, to the your MongoDB database. Once you send there, right, the route, it will be automatically route you to the display all user. Okay, display all user page. And after, right, in the display all user page, there will be the card. Okay, some kind of card we're gonna add, maybe the card, right, where will be the name, email, basically age, and also the maybe update and delete button, right, because we are working on the CRUD operation. So there will be update and delete button also. Okay, some kind of update and delete button. And you have the name, email, and maybe age, right? That is the data for every user. Every time you submit, that is what you're gonna see there. So when you click the delete, the API will be called, right, because we have the API for the delete also. So that will be called, and it will remove the data from our database, and after that it will re-render the remaining data, right, to the page. Okay, similarly, when you have update button, when you click on any card, right, with update, so it will fetch the page with HTML form, and whichever data you have updated, that information will be added to the form, right, and you make the change to that data and you hit update, maybe save change or something button, and that will be update, make a change to your database, and after again it will re-render the updated list of item. Okay, and that is delete. So these are all the functionality we're gonna create, right? Clear? Any question on this? So let's move on. Okay, all right, so now we're gonna start with the MERN project here. Let's add two folder, right? I will call it backend, right, and the next will be front end. Okay, front end. So first in terminal, I'm gonna select the backend, and let's initialize the project, right? So that is npm init. I'll just put -y. Okay, so it will install everything we needed, right? That is like basically yes to all the question. Okay, when I say -y, that is basically yes to all the question. If you don't put -y, it will, you just have to press enter many times, right, and you're gonna reach here. So we got the package.json file, right? That is what we call initialize your project in order to install the packages. Okay, so let's install the package, right, for our project. So first will be npm install. We're gonna install express, then will be, we can add body parser. We can add course. I think, yeah, course will be fine. npm install express, body parser, course, and then we're gonna add mongoose also, right? Mongoose. So what is mongoose? I will just explain. Okay, let's install that. If anything we need, we're gonna install it later, not a problem, right? We can do that. So mongoose is the library, right, or you can call it module. So remember when I say module, last time we talked about module, right? Basically the the file or the application which help us to connect with MongoDB. It's like a library to make us connection with the MongoDB, because in Express their Express does not have the way to connect MongoDB. So the MongoDB provide us the software called Mongoose, and they said just use the Mongoose, right, to make a connection with your local MongoDB, or you want to connect with the cloud, right, the MongoDB Atlas, which we checked yesterday. So we just use that one. Okay, so we got all this body parser, course, express, mongoose installed, right? We still need to install one more dependency, that is development, right, for development dependency. So that is called node-MERN. Okay, so there is two more library, the body parser and the core, right? Course, the course basically like it just give pass, right, like some kind of open the door for the, when in your application when you have two let's say two route, right, two route or two link and try to connect to each other, then the window creates some issue, right, in our computer. Okay, so just to pass this problem, the this course is used. Okay, this library will fix that issue. Okay, so it will allow us to make a communication between two different things like MongoDB and then front end, back end, all that, right? We will not use right now, but see when the problem arises, we're gonna try to add that one. Okay, and the body parser is basically parsing the data, right, from JSON format to your JavaScript, all that, just parsing the body from one format to another format. So that is what we're going to use now. Express also, I think the Express, you can directly use Express also, right, inside your as a middleware, and that will also do the job. Even if I don't use this one, I can use Express directly, it will still do the work, but we'll just add both and more safe side, right? So these are just the middleware. I mean, we just put there and done, right? Just remember these three things and the mongoose, right? That's it. Okay, one more, node-MERN. Why node-MERN? See, the backend does not have way to run the server or update the server constantly. Okay, when you make any change, server should keep updating itself, right? And to handle that work, we need mongoose. Oh, sorry, what was that? Node-MERN. Okay, node-MERN, right? So there is so many things, I get mixed up with some information, right? Mongoose and node-MERN. So let's install the node-MERN, right? npm install node-MERN. But this time we're going to install as a development dependency, because node-MERN we just need for development only, right? We don't need for the our when you do the hosting, right, you don't need that node-MERN. Okay, because in hosting there is already server which is running constantly. We don't have to go and run anything there. Okay, once you host, they already have a server and everything is running fine. But in our case, we need a way to update our server. So to install as a development dependency, right, we just put like a dash save dash development dev, right? And then so anything you need as for development only, just put this command here, right? npm install, you can add I, or maybe you can write the complete install, that is fine. And dash save dash dev, and we can call it node-MERN, right? Node-MERN. Okay, and enter. So see, now it just create another object, right? The property here, dev dependency. So anything you just need for development, you can just put dash save dash dev, and it will be added inside this object. Okay, so node-MERN is here. So now, right, what we will do is so there is index. Let me change to server, right? I'll change this to server.js, and I'm gonna add the file called server.js. Okay, so one more thing I need to fix here before we go forward, right? I just want to add the npm start, right? in case of start, when I click npm start, I want to run this command. Okay, that will be node MERN and my file called server, right, server.js. So, and because this is the object, you must separate with comma. So that's the first property, and second property should be separate with comma. Clear? Okay, up to here is fine. Now, right, let's get back here. So we have Express installed, right, already. Yeah. So let's create our server now. Okay. So look like everything is okay. So first cons, right, I will call it Express equal to require. Okay, and then you add Express here. So that means you just access to this function, right, Express. This will return function called Express. Okay, now we're gonna run this function, right, and that will give you the big object. That is, we can store that object in a variable called app equal to Express, and run that Express. So see, these are the things whatever we write today, right? Now every time when you create a backend and server and all that, the process will be same. So even it takes time for, let's say it will take 2-3 days for you guys to complete this project, right? Try to memorize everything. Okay, if you manage to understand one project, the rest will be 90% almost same. Okay, all the time, right? Will be same process. So it's very good chance everyone should just memorize it, all the step. Okay guys, and then you will, you will have no question after that, right? Okay, so once we have this, right, I can basically app.listen, right, listen to the port, maybe let's say 8080, right, and I can add callback function here, and just to run test. Okay, console.log, let's say server is running in port, maybe call it 8080, right, for now. So let's test this. Okay, so npm start. When I call the npm start now, the node MERN will run and it crashed, right? So what is the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spelling under package JSON for server.
SERV server, right? In the package JSON. Okay, let's check. SERVE SER, right? Yes, good catch. Okay, so I think I was
also by the main there.
SER, right? What is that? SERVER. Hope that will be fine now. So let's see. Save now, right? So where is the more mistake? Okay, let's run again, right? npm start. Okay, so it's for running now, right? So everything's okay. So now, right, because this creates the local server here. Okay, basically this creates the local server, right? It gives us the port and the, what do you call that, port now, right, through which you can pass all your URI or all your routes, right, all your API. So when you make API, any API now, right? So what are the things we have to make API? Remember that: get, post, put, maybe delete, right? Delete. So if I have to make get request, how I can do that? App, right? I'll just call the get, get, right? And these functions need the route. So if I just do slash, means that is a root route. Okay, localhost whatever, right? That is root route. So localhost my IP address and this 8080, right? That is the local host for me right now. And callback function I can add here. So I'm just showing you something quickly, right? And you need to request response, right, like that. And in the response I can just send some maybe JSON, some JSON file, right? JSON. Let's make it message. So this is get, right? This is get request. So later maybe you're thinking how all this coming, right? Because we have the server running and all the API you're gonna create, like get, post, put, delete, using all this method or HTTP method, right? You know, there will be the when you make a request, right, it will do the job. Okay, this function will run and it's gonna do whatever it has to do, right, inside that function. So we're gonna write some function inside here because, you know, so for now let's say we're just sending this data, right, and I want to go to the browser and then maybe call, let's say, localhost 8080, right? I just call this one. Okay, it just work. Okay, it just work. See, that's how you're getting data, right? It just work, means this route is working perfectly. So later you're gonna have maybe when you post there will be post route, when you delete there will be delete route, when you update there will be update route, and for all that route we're gonna write the functionality, right? So just remember that. Okay, this just happened, I mean just accept it, right? It's happening there because of this, because we have a server and we are creating the API, right, using all this verb get, post, put and delete. Okay, so here we will be not writing like this, right? Because if you do, let's say in the last project, if you want to do all this in the same page, right, there will be big like a crowd, you know. So for that reason we structure our project. Okay, so let's do that one. So we're gonna have model, right? Models for database, creating the schema, right? And we have not done that yet, but we will see now. Then we're gonna have in the backend we're gonna have controllers, right? We can call it controllers. Okay, fine. And then we're gonna have the routes, right? Routes. Okay, so first remember last time we talked about the how you can, what you can make first, right? So the information like data, right, in the hotel we talk about the kitchen, right? The person who makes the food is the important one, and then you're gonna have the maybe, let's say, the waiter, right, who gonna manage the staff, and then the reception who gonna basically handle, I mean whoever come, right, that you need in the end, you know, when everything is ready then you're gonna need that in the end. So the model is the first one we're gonna create. So inside here, right, let's add a file and let's call this what we can call, let's call it user, right? Let's call it user right? Yeah, we can just call it user, maybe user model, maybe. So yes, okay, yeah, that's fine. So see, in the, remember we have learned about the constructor function, right? Constructor function, which functions once you create, right, it's like the blueprint for the creating object. Okay, blueprint, right? So here you just pass the data and it will just give you the object all the time. So the model is nothing but the blueprint for the MongoDB database. Blueprint, you create the constructor function here using the Mongoose, right? Mongoose will provide you all the information how to create all that, and then it's act like a blueprint. So before you make a building, what you do, you're gonna hire engineer, they will draw, do all kind of soil test, everything, right? And based on that diagram you're gonna build the building. Okay, so that is what we're gonna making the diagram here, basically the blueprint for our database. Okay, so first you have to get mongoose. So let's do that one. Const mongoose, right? We have installed that already. Require mongoose. Okay, mongoose, right? Clear. And mongoose. Okay, fine. Now cons, right? We can call it user schema, right? This is called schema. I can let's look at something right quickly. So create schema, right, for MongoDB. Okay, so you can find somewhere something quick, maybe notes. So that is called database model, right? Okay, so let's see if there is something. I don't see. I mean, there is, but it's like a more complex way. So let's look at some easy stuff. Let's see if there is something in the W3 school also, right? No. How to define a schema? Okay, so basically it will be object, right? You're gonna pass like, see that, but it's still not what we're looking for here. New schema, right? And you just define the object like this. Okay, name, age, bio, and data, and all that. So we're gonna do something like that. Type is string, type number. What type of data, right? You have to also define the data type, and you can even define some other parameter also, right? So in our case will be some simple definition. Okay, so we call it user schema, right? And we say new, and then will be from mongoose. Okay, we get schema dot schema. Look at here, this mongoose will give us a schema, right? And this is a function, and inside here you're gonna pass that object. Okay, so the first one, right, will be let's say name, right? We're gonna define the name of our collection, right? So in the collection you're going to store the object, now the data. Remember, the collection is the table. You can store the object, which will be the data, right? Name, so the name, and then you're gonna add the object here, right? And define this type. Type will be string. So what is the type of data here? Will be string, right? Then you can maybe define, let's say, required. Yes, required, required, right? I think required, yeah, that will be true. I think that is enough, right? So let's add the next field, will be email, right? And then will be type string. Email is a string, right? Yes. And required, we're gonna make it required. Let's say we're gonna make it true also, so that without this information people cannot complete the form, right? But let's make the email unique. Okay, so without, you cannot add like two email in your database same time. Okay, so let's make it unique, right? We call it unique. That will be unique, right? Unique. That will be true. Okay, true. That's it. And now is the age, right? Age. Let's put the age also. So type will be number. So that is data type. Okay, and yeah, we can leave it like that, or you can put it maybe required also. You can add required, right? Will be true. Okay, we're done. So one more thing, right? After this, after here, see, when this data is loaded in the database, right? When this object is created, you want to record the time stamp, right? So normally there is a already object called timestamp, which you can add here, right? So we can call it maybe timestamp, yeah, here timestamp, and for that one just make it true, right? So that's it. So this model is created, right? This is a blueprint, okay, blueprint. So every time when you fill the form and submit, right, basically this will be called, okay, and this is the one who gonna make a connection to with your database. Basically this is the one who is gonna handle, right? It's like the mapping your database and doing all the work, okay. It's like a middleman which is gonna go to your database, get data for you. It will help you to add data to the database and all that. So once we finish with that one, we just need to do a few more line of code here, and that will be, let's call it cons, right? Let's call this user, and should be mongoose dot model, because we are creating a model, right? And this will take two things. The first one is the name of your database, right? So you have to add it. So let's call this what we're going to call this, right? So name, not database, but the name of your table, right? What we can call, so let's call this maybe user, right? Okay, user. So see this name in the database, right? It will be added like this, users in the plural form, right? In a small letter with s in the back. That is what it will create in the database, okay. And the comma, and the next will be our schema name, right? So that is user schema, okay, done. And after this you just export, right? So module dot exports equal to user. So this is just a variable, okay. So whatever it will give us, right, from here we are sending that one. So we're going to use this one to do all the rest of the work, right? I mean, this will be the one single file which is going to handle all our work. And see how we're going to use this. So let's go to the server, right? Right now we have not connected to our backend, okay, to our database also, right? So let's do that first. So for that we just need to const, right? Const what is that, mongoose, right? We need a mongoose first. Mongoose, okay, we got that. Okay, so once we have mongoose, and also let's import our database also, right? Means user, const user equal to require basically, so dot slash from model slash will be user model, right? So we have this user in case we need, right? It will be there. Okay, so now we have mongoose. Let's create the connection with our backend database. So you're gonna call the mongoose, right? Mongoose dot connect, clear, and it will take the connection link, right? So what is the link, connection link, you know? Okay, so okay, one more thing, right? Let's do one more thing, okay. See, normally we don't store our the connection links and the, I mean, ports and all that directly in our project, right? We don't do that one. So for that reason there is something called .env, right? .env file, okay. So that is called .env file, right? You can add here, and here you're going to create port. So port also we're going to store on this one, right? Let's call it 8080, okay. And then you're going to have URI, right, equal to, so our, let's get the URI from our MongoDB, right? So where is that? We can maybe copy from Compass. This will be, yeah, this is the one. I just copied this link. because if I make connection, right, it will work. Okay, so you see this there. Okay, so close that and get back here, so I can put this here. So when you create this, right, just do one thing, don't put semicolon on the back here or anything. Okay, just leave it like this, because that confused me for a long time right before, and I keep adding the semicolon and all that, and it will just not read the file, right? So just remember that. But before, to process this, right, we need to install that package. Okay, so let's do that. So npm install .env, right? .env, yeah. So it should be in our package JSON .env. Okay, so now I'm gonna add what I'm gonna do now, right? Let's see, I just need to, what I'm gonna do, okay, let me call that process, right? How you gonna connect to your URI? So you just do the process dot env dot URI, right? Means this will call that link, this link. Okay, this link, it will just call that. Yeah, and then after that, right? Okay, so after this, so it will make a connection, right, to that link, and then it returns the promise.
Dev,
Yeah,
I think you also
yeah, I need to
have to configure that .env.
yeah, I have to do that. Yes, correct. So first let's get that right. Const dot env equal to, right, require, right, and then we're gonna call that dot env. Okay, and then you have to just call it, right, config config dot what was that, config dot env, right?
.env config. That's how I used it.
Something like that. Dot env dot no dot env. Oh man, let me even I forget. Okay, let me check. Env, right? Env dot config. Let's see how we write, right? So you're going to require that. So okay, so basically yeah, so dot config, right? So means I just require this one, so I stored in a variable, right? So that variable dot config, I have to run that. So I just stored in dot env here, so let's run that one. Dot env dot config. Okay, that is the function you execute. Okay, now it will do the job, right? So see this process.env.uri, it will get that link add here to make a connection to the MongoDB, right? To whatever MongoDB URI is belongs to. Okay, that belongs to our local, local URI, right? Local storage MongoDB. Okay, it will return the promise, means it will just return the promise object. So we have to do something like then, right, and pass the callback function here. So when that connection is okay, right, then you can call this also, this one, just call it inside here. After connecting to MongoDB, then you call this. Okay, so we can maybe put here something like a if you want to add server is running in port, right, and you can now, right, you can add the port here, so that will be, you can call process, right, dot env dot port. Okay, so here also you can call it same way, right? So that will be process dot env dot port. Clear? So let's say if if somehow we did not get port, right, then you can also add or right here, or maybe just call this, just call it like that. That is fine. That is also okay. Okay, so after this, right, let's say if there is connection, you're gonna see this, right? The server is running, because first it must connect this one, then only you're gonna go inside and get connection for this. Okay, if there will be error, right, then you can just do let's say dot catch, right, catch, and you call it error, and console dot log, just display error right here. What happened? Okay, something is not, so we're missing that bracket, right? Okay. Dot connect, okay, what is the error?
I think it should be a callback function.
Okay, let's put it right. Dot catch, right, catch error. Okay, console dot log error. Okay, let's put it there. All right, so now that's the process, right? These things you just have to memorize, make it note every time you need, you just put it like that. Okay, and that should work. You can change the port number, right, if you have to. So all the variables, all the variables, right, which is more secure, you must put in the env file. Okay, that env file, and that's how you access to that, right? So let's run our server and see if this is working. One more thing, we can see in the env file, right, we can add our database name also here. So we can call it maybe let's say what we can call, right, so let's call it maybe blog, right, something like that. Just call that blog. Okay, so now it should create that blog database inside our it will just create this one. Okay, if there is already, that's okay. If not, it will create this one. So that is what we have to do that. Okay, let's run this one. npm start now, right? Npm start. So no server starting, right? So let's see. Still oh, what happened? We did not get anything. So it did not. We should get at least this, right? So okay, so there is something error now. What is the error? Back in start nodman server, here mongoose server, right, connect refuse, right, refuse. Why is that? Let me check, right, why it because I know it should work. Let me give different port, right? Maybe 8000. But I don't think it will be the issue of port, you know, it's something else. It's just taking a lot of time, right, to make a connection. What is the issue? Okay. Let's call it user, right? User blog maybe. It's just taking long time. It was not taking that long, you know. I don't know why it's just taking so long. Okay, so basically look like something wrong with this link, right? Let's do one thing. What I'm going to do, I will try to avoid this. You know, it should work, but my god. Process, let's see. Process.env, right? .env, .uri. That's what we have added here, URI. The port also, right? So we have the port. Okay, that is fine. So let me just add the link here. Okay, it should be in the string, right? So let's put in the string, and I will add the maybe blog, right? Blog user, and we'll just keep it 8000 for here also. Let's do that. Let's remove this for now. Save, and let's try to run again, right? What is a Mongo server selection error, right? Connect connect confused, right, with this one. Okay, so need to change here, right? 0.0.0.0. So if I go to command ping, right, ping localhost, one to 7.1.1. What was that? 127 dot, I think 0.0.0.0.1, right? I think we can add that also. So let's put that 127.0.0.1. Okay, now let's try, right? Okay, it's working now. So now it should work, right? That's the issue. Okay, we cannot put the local host here. You have to add the basically IP address of your machine, right? So now, right, let's try to get back to the same process.env. Let's try to see if that will work also. Okay, so we can write here this one we're going to replace with the our env file here, right? Okay, so we replace that one and we just write here process.env.uri. that is the first one, and then here we're going to add process.env dot will be what, port, right? port. And after you want to running on, you want to get the port access here also. Through that you're going to process.env dot port, and let's see, save now. Okay, so now server is running in port 8000, right? So everything is fine. Okay, we got now, right, things working. So what else we can do here? So that is all right now, right? We need for our, man, what I open this, terminal, go to terminal. Okay, so that is all we need for our server for now, right? We're gonna add later on, I mean we can add let's say yeah, that is okay, that's fine, right? That is fine. Okay, so that is fine. So now let's go back, right, and create the second one is, I mean we finished the user model, right? Let's create the controller now, all the function for different method, right? So let's start there. So let's get back to our controller and we call it user controller, right? Controller.js. Okay, so the first one will be cons, right? So first you want to get the first, like basically you want to get all data, right? That will be our first route. So cons, let's call it get all user, right? User. So it will take callback function, and you're gonna have request response. Okay, so request response, right? So this will be asynchronous function, async, right? Async function, because this is going to get the data from the outside, right, from the database. So this will be async function. So I will say let, right, users. Okay, I'll just create like that, and then I will add try catch method. Okay, cs catch, right? We'll just call it error here, and console dot log error. Okay, now in the try, right, this user, we're going to store the whatever we get from the database, we're going to store in this variable. So we call it users equal to, we need our model now, so let's import that, because everything is done through the model. Okay, so const user, right, that is the model require, and we get that from our model slash user model. Okay, so just look at now, right, this user equal to this this, what you call that, this, let's call it function, right? This function, we call it here user, or maybe object, let's call it object, right? Dot, and see, now you can get all this MongoDB what you call that function now. So I just need to find everything from that user, right? So I just use this find function, and it will just give me all the user from there. Okay, so I will check now, right? If I'll just validate some data, right? So if there is no users, what you want to do, you want to return, right, response with status code, maybe for, let's say, what will be the error status code, right? I think 400 or 500. So let's see, no data status code, right? That is 404. Okay, not found when, something like that, right? Or no data available. So we can call it 404. Let's add that one. So these are the browser built-in status code, right? We just to represent with this number, we should know, okay, not found or something like that. So we can put it 404. That will be our status if there is no user return from here, right? We just do that. And also you can send the message, so that is .json status, and then after, right, JSON, let's send the JSON message. Okay, we call it message, and call it no data found. Simple enough. So if there is no user, let's say if there is a user already, right, if users, right, if that is true, then again return the status code like this, but this time we're going to send our data, right, as a JSON file. So that will be users, but the status code will be 200, that is success 200, right? Status code is 200. So yeah, so now we're done with get all user, right? We're done with that one. That is the first one. We just have to export it. So module dot exports, right, exports, and will be, we just export as a, because there will be many function like this, right? We just export all inside the get all user. Okay, so once we export like this, we have to use this. So now remember, we have the controller ready, right? We need to write a route for this route. So let's complete one, right, and we're going to test, and then we're going to move to the next controller. Okay, so let's route here, call it user routes, right, .js. Yeah, let's leave it like that. So first we need to import controllers. So get all user, okay, from controller, user controller. Okay, we got that. And we also need to import express to create a route, right? Let's do that. So const express, that will be, I just want to complete one process, okay, and that will be all, after that will be all repeat, just repeat, right? So express, so now cons, right, cons router equal to express dot router, okay, and so we have the router here, right, router. So how we create router now? This router, remember, has access to all the HTTP method now. Remember last in the server what we did, right? We did express. When you execute the express, we had app, right? And then you did app.get, app.post, all that. But in this way, we just have one router here, and now you can use router dot get, right, get. And in the root route, you want to call this function. So earlier in our get, we use the callback function here like this, right? Just put the callback function and you write all the code. But now we separate this callback function inside our controller. That is the brain of the code, right? The function. So so that is, for now, is get all user. That's it. See, get, right? So when you localhost 8000, that is root route, it will call this function, this route, okay, this basically this function, right? Whatever inside here will be there. So the next, right, next will be, let's say, you have to return this now, right? So basically module.exports, right, and that is router clear? Okay, fine. See, so from controller, remember we create database, we go to the controller, we write our first controller, right, the function to get everything, all the data, and then for that one we create a route, right, route. Okay, once we have this route, we just go to the server and use this one now, right? So how are we going to use that? So first get that route, okay, cons router equal to require dot slash, will be in the routes, right, slash use router. Okay, from there we're going to get that router, and after, you can just maybe just call it here, right, app dot use, right, and app dot use will be basically that router. So you can yeah, I think that is enough, right? Yeah, let me see once again. So app, let's say app.use, that should be, so we don't have to do all that. Mongo required config, that done, that is done. So yeah, I think that should be fine. Okay, app.use router, right? Okay, let's try now. So it should work now, right? It should work. Okay, there is something error. What is the error? Did I make some mistake? User router, right? Get all user. Okay, let's see, that is get all user we exported that module.export get all user. Okay, fine. Then in the user routes, right, user routes, user controller. Okay, we got that. And get all user. Yeah, that looks okay. You know, what is the problem now? So okay, yeah, I think I did mistake here, right? That should be, I need to give the path. Okay, I need to give the route also. App.use, and then I have to provide the path here, and then the router, right? Router. Okay, so now the only thing is, okay, I put import here, right? So let me import, you know, my god, const, because this is not the equal to require dot slash double dot slash, right, from the controller, and you get that user controller. Save. Okay, look like should be fine. Yeah, so it's fine now, right? So what we have done, we added the route here also. Oh, that is fine, that is okay, right? That is okay, the route is fine. Get route. Okay, so now in the server we added here also, right, route, and this router we pass to the basically we call it middleware, right? This app.use is a middleware. You just pass this router and it will do all the job now. So you just have to do it one time. Okay, the rest of the route will be basically we just adding here now. All the get, post, put, delete, we just keep adding here, right? And that's it. So let's test if this is working or not, right? If I go to the local host here, local host 8000. So because we are in the backend server, right, 8000 port. Let's see we get something, because right now we don't have any data there, right? I mean, basically our function is not returning anything. So let's do one thing. Okay, in controller, right, the user, just return this user, but okay, there is something error also. Man, how many error is there? Type error, converting circular structure to JSON. So okay, let's see. Let me check quickly here. I think what mistake I have done. Express, that is fine, that is okay, and we have the get, right, get all user, that is fine, get all user, module.export. So router, this looks okay. So I don't know if it created the database or not, right? Let's check. So if I expand this, okay, it created the database, right? That means it's working. Blog user is created, okay, and there is a users, right? There is users. Right now we don't have any document. Look at here. So these are working already. So we have the collection users, and we will be adding document later, right? Right now we don't have, but we will be adding that. Okay, so how are we gonna test, right? Let me close this. Okay, what we're gonna do, right? For now, I just want to, in the controller, I want to pass okay, let's add something here, right? In the server, let's add a couple of things here. So we can say app dot maybe app dot use, right? Express. I think app dot use will be express, right? .json. That will be one middleware. We're gonna add core and other one also. Let's add that. So we have to get that const course equal to require course, right? And const next one was body parser, right? Okay, so let's see, we added the, so that's the app running here. After that we have to add, right? So we added this middleware. Let's add it, app.use course, and one more we're gonna have app.use, right? Will be body parser, right? And dot url, I think url encoded, right? And that should be the function. So we're gonna add object and call it extended to false, right? False. Okay, fine. So that is all done. So we're gonna test in the, what do you call that, in the postman. Let's check in the postman. Okay, and then we try to see the message, right? So first we're gonna add the get method, get, right? So we have localhost colon of, sorry, I need to put http, right, / localhost colon 8000, that is the port, right? And if we just send the request, let's see what we get here, right? I mean, it's just running, right? Without any answer, because most likely we are not returning something. Let's check. So we have status 200 JSON user, right? So can we send this as a, let's send it message, right? Success. And for now let's try this. If users, that is true, then we should return this. Send user. Oh, sorry, yeah, not the JSON file. Can we make it send users? And in the cats, right? Cats, we're gonna have error, and I think we can do some better job here, right? So let's say return response, right? res.status, and we send it maybe 400 status, I believe, and then JSON. Here we're gonna send the message, okay? And we call it maybe error, right? This error, and it has something called message. We just pass that one. Okay, so now let's test again. So we're going to send the request again, localhost 8000, and okay, so we got something message, right? Converting circular structure JSON at object with structure Mongo client. So we pull object with constructor client close circle. What is that means? Bad request, right? Yeah, so there is error. Can we do 127.1? Oh, sorry, dot. What was that? The link. One to 700-1, right? Let's do that. 127.0. HTTP but our is localhost, you know. Why are we gonna do that? Localhost colon 8000. That is our localhost, you know. It's working, right? The link is working, but only thing is we just did not get any data, right? Because there is no data, I believe, you know. There is nothing in the there is no data right now. Yeah, that is fine. See what happened, right? Right now we don't have any user, so we try to find something, it will not find, right? That's what I believe is the error, but it should not give us this long error, you know. Okay, that's fine. So no data found. If no data found, it should return the 404 no data found, right? All that status. If there is some error, 400, right? So what message we get? We get 404, correct? Or 400, bad request. 400, that is the one. Means there is something error, right? Okay, so I believe I have to, because this is a asynchronous, I have to make a wait here, you know. I cannot just make call like that. Okay, I have to make a wait, right? And then it should be fine. That was the error, guys. So let's make a request again. Good to go. We got the blank empty array right now. Okay, my god. So we have done the first controller. Okay, so let's quickly add the copy now, right? Just copy this and it will be quick now. Okay, we're gonna add all controller maybe in 2 minutes. So I'm gonna get all user by ID. I want to get one single user, right? So I just call it a single user, like user, user, and the function will be here, right? Find by ID, that's the one. Okay, I can use, and I just have to pass the ID, right, as a underscore ID colon ID, right? So how I'm going to get ID here? So const ID, right, equal to that is params request dot params dot ID. Maybe you're thinking where this all coming, right? Remember, later on you're gonna see in the project, you're gonna click on something, right? See, the link will be like this. If you have a user, let's say localhost. Okay, let's go back here. If you have localhost right here with maybe ID something number, okay, some number here, you put the some number here, right, and send request, that will find the user with that ID and it will give you the data. Just one user, right? So that ID means that is the link ID, right? So that is request. This is the body. Okay, this is called the body of the request, right? So the request dot params dot ID, that is the built-in things you have to remember. Okay, that will get the ID from there, right? In the link, because this all things gonna happen in some route, right? Some route, this function will be passed, and in the route, if there is ID, it will just read that ID as an object, and from there we just destructure it like ID, right? And that ID we pass here. So find by ID, you have to pass it with the object. Remember yesterday we did that in our exercise. I was doing mistake. I have to use it curly bracket, object, and pass it like this. So that ID, and we're gonna get the user, right? If there is no user, then you just return this, right? No user, right? No user found. And if there is a user, right, then status, and send this user again to whoever is looking for, right? So this function will just return that user, okay, that object, and you're gonna catch error if there is something, right? So that is done. So we just give it here, get no, not all user, just get user by ID, better name, right? Get user by ID. Okay, so you do get user by ID. Done. So for this one again we have to write the route. So let's go to the route, copy this. So we are just getting, right? Getting, you first get user by ID, and you pass it here, get user by ID, and you're done. See, so in localhost, if there is a ID, see localhost / if there will be ID in the browser, this will run, okay? Not this, but this function is going to run. And now we don't have to do anything here. Our work, right? See, this is already doing the job for every route. Now it will just take care. Okay, so that is done for the single user. Now single user also, get all user, get user by ID. The next will be add, right? Add user. So add user, right? So that will be again same thing, you have a callback function. So request response. So if I have to check that other one, okay, remember if I want to check, right, and I just send this, let's say I send this number, it will give me, because that ID is not available in database right now, so it will give me some simple error, right? What is saying, cannot get this one. See, I get error, but it will give me 404 not found. Okay, yeah, so that is fine. So okay, let's get back to the, let's keep it up to here. Let's get back to the post now, right? So post, add user. So adding user will be one second now. We have to get, how you gonna add, right? We have to read all the users. So const, and how you get the user, that is from the body of the request, right? So that will be request dot body, right? And it will give us name. What is the three things we have? Name, email, and age, right? That is all we get. So what else we're gonna need? So let's see. So again the process will be same. Let me, I think, copy this, right? Try catch here. So that all will be same thing. So why need to rewrite, little bit I have to make change, so I don't have, I will just make it let, right? Let user, this function has to be async, right? Async function, and user, user dot find by ID. No, I don't need that. So user dot, right, will be create. See, create. Okay, and when you create, what you're gonna do, you're just gonna pass the data, right, like name, email, and age, right? Just pass it like that. Okay, so okay, you pass that, and then what else we have to do? So basically that user is created, we call it maybe new user, let's call it new user, right, or new user, that's better name. If no new user, if we don't get, right, let's just validate. If no new user, that means return status 404 or maybe 400, let's make it no user created, right? Else we just use this. If new user, then status will be 200, that is okay, and then send. I think we can just send the message here, right? So you got that. We can just maybe we want to, because this is already created, right? We just want to, we don't want to send this anywhere, you know. So if there is, okay, let's do this. If new user, we can just send this as a message, or maybe we can just send it JSON file, because we're not sending this data anywhere. Okay, so we just send this data to the database, right, and done. We are not sending to the browser or any client or anybody. So that means just the JSON, and we can message it. Message, right, will be what we can call it, maybe what we can call. So I think even we don't need this one. Okay guys, we don't need this. We just add the message here and we call it user return message, right, and that will be, let's call it user created, right? So let's add the string user created. Simple enough. Yeah, so if there is error, then will be error dot message, right? That is what is gonna happen. Okay, so we gonna create user, right, and when the user created, we should get this message. Okay, we should get this message, right? We should get that message. So let's see how it works, because now finally we are in the place where we can create the user, add some data to our database. So add user, let's finish this one first. You have to export it, and then in the controller you must create the route, right? So this time we are posting data, post, right? So just localhost slash if there is something coming from the body, right, when you're sending data as a post, it will run this function, and that function is add user, and that's what you have to pass here, add user. Okay, save, and let's try now. Let's add the data. So first we run this, it's empty object, clear. Now we're gonna create new, right? So for now, let me copy this. I want to keep this for the get data with ID, right? Let's keep that one. I will create next one for the post. Okay, so that will be post, and that is fine. So we need to send data to the body, right? To the body we have to send data. That's how the API, right, our controller will receive that data from here. So you just body raw, and we are sending JSON data, right? So just put here. So three things we have to send: name, right, name, We'll call it robot welker. Okay, that is the first one. What else now? We have the email, right? Email, that will be robot@gmail.com, and then as, right? So we send as also, as. Okay, and as will be maybe 4068 now. Okay, so if I just send, see, user created, right? So 200, okay, all that. Now if I go back here in my get request without any ID, okay, I just gonna get it, send request, and boom, I got the data right from my database. So see, there is ID created, name, email is created, add, updated, add, all these things added, right? So let's add one more data. So I can call it maybe robot welker junior, right? And see, if I go and send now, right, see what happened here. Okay, see, message, we get error, right? Duplicate key error, because I'm trying to add the same email ID and we have unique in our model. Remember that in the model, right? Where is the model? Let's go back here in the model, right? We have a email ID unique, true. Okay, so it will check in our database if there is same email or not. It will not allow the same email. So that's working also. Let's get back. So we just gonna change it with J, right, junior, and make it 60 here, and add now, and successfully added the data. So let's go back and fetch it, send request localhost. So we got second object again added, right? Okay, so these are the data we added to the database. Now I want to just get this one, right, by ID. I want to see if my single user, fetching single user is working or not, right? So I'll just put here. Oh, not there. I have the other link, right? I mean, I can do there also, but let's go to the right one here. So I just sent. Okay, so that is not, cannot get something, right? Cannot find, so that is not working. Okay, so that means there is some error in that part. See why we are doing all this, right? You see now, right? We must make sure all the routes work perfectly before you start writing the front end. So okay, let's fix that one. Okay, what is the problem now? So let's go to the controller, right? And so get user by ID, request params.id, right? That is fine. Let user, that is fine. User await user.find by ID, right? That is okay. Underscore, and then you pass that ID. That is also fine. And if no user, return the status, right? 404, or JSON message, you do that. If user, then return 200 and send that user, right? We send that user. Okay, now catch the error, right? And we just send the message also, error.message. Okay, why not we did not get that? It looks fine. So even we did not get any error, right? Let's see. Cannot get this one, cannot get, right? Cannot get this one. Get. Oh, okay, because we are trying to get with the ID, right? Oh my god, my route is not correct, because this route should be added the ID also. Okay guys, that's my mistake. Let's get back to the route here, and here the local host, because this is the local host, right? The route should be local host colon ID also. Okay, now this is the correct route for getting single ID. So always we have to make a correction to our route, right? That is get, single get is okay for all user, that is fine. But when you have you passing localhost, see up to here is just the localhost. That means what? Just the localhost, nothing else, no number, right? No number, it will not recognize. But soon we put the ID here, and it should, it should work. So let's go back. Our route is fine now, right? So let me send the request again, and we cast to object ID failed to value, right? ID undefined. So maybe something wrong with this ID now. So let's check now, right? Let's get back here. ID. Okay, let me take this. I don't know why, it should be okay. Copy and let's paste. So send request, same message, a cast to object failed ID. So that is 400 bad requests, right? So now the only problem should be, I believe, that's ID is okay, right? That ID is okay. ID, that name is okay. That's the property we are getting, right? In our controller here. ID request dot params dot ID, right? Oh man, I don't know if this will return the same. Oh no, we don't have object, I believe. We're getting the same ID. Okay. Only a navigation router, right? In the okay, I think that was something else. I was confused with that. I mean, there is one more, right? The React router DOM. From the React router DOM also we can access the ID, and in that case it returns object. But here I think we're just getting the straight ID, and that's what we pass here. So let's try now. So if I send the request again, okay, it worked, right? So yeah, so that means we are getting the single user also. So see, sometimes, right, when you have a route for getting single user, that's how it will work. That's the route, URI for that. So you just pass the ID like this, any ID you pass, and you're gonna get that data.
How did you solve the error then?
Okay, so
can I see the code?
Yeah, here, right, I added in the object. Okay, destructure it. I was thinking this will return the object, but it's just a single, no object, right? Just a variable.
Oh, okay.
So it was earlier, it was like this, so I removed that and it worked now. Okay guys, so we up to here, right? Let's finish the add user. So now we're gonna have, so we finished with the get all user, get single user, and posting data also, right? Work done. Now is delete and update, right? So let's work with that one. So just below here I'm gonna write const update user, right? User equal to async function, because we are dealing with the database, so we have to write asynchronous async function, and will be request response. Okay, and then okay, once we have this, so update request, update user, right? Update user. So in here we need couple of things. First, we need to find the item with the ID, correct? I mean, when you click on the update button, right, there will be a link created with that particular ID item. So we have to grab that first, right? So let's get that one ID. So we can say const ID, right, equal to same thing, like above, request dot params dot ID, right? And then also once you update, right, let's say you have the items in your input field. Now you make a change, you submit, so the whole data, right, is sending now. So see, when you're sending the data, how you in the add, right, how you get from data from the body, because you have to get that data again and send to the server, right? So const, so will be name, email, and name, email, and what else, is, right, is equal to what else from the request body, right, that will come from request dot body. Okay, so we got this data also. Now we have the data. Now let's write our try catch function. Because we are using asynchronous, right? So try catch is better way to handle the the await functions and also the error, right? So let's return the same thing, or just return it here, right? And I think this update should be same, right? So what should I do now? What should I do? Okay, so I have to, because there is a function find by ID and the update, right? All that we have to do that. So let's do that. Update. Let me think 1 second, guys. Give me a second. Sometimes the brain just stop working. So let me const, right? Const. Maybe I can just put in the variable, right? So we call it update user, right, equal to await. Okay, we have to write await, and then you call our model user, right? So that we have all the functionality of the database, the Mongo, right, MongoDB dot, and first we have to find, right, find by ID, and see all this function find by ID and update. That is what I need. So first thing, I have to pass the ID to get the data, right? And after that I have to send the value, what you call that, I have to basically I think I can just send, right, because sometimes we don't know what we're gonna update, right? Maybe you just want to update name or email or age, right? We don't know. So maybe we just do request, send the request at body, right? Send it everything, okay, whole object, request dot body. So I think, yeah, so that should be fine, right? What else we have to pass here? Requested body, and then
Then
yeah,
will it not be a problem because you declared update user twice? Like it won't be a problem.
okay. Here I have function and I have variable, right? Okay, thanks. Yeah, I mean it will be not, right, because it is inside, but it's better keep it separate. Okay. Let's call it update user data, right? Or user maybe data, update user data, something like that. But this variable will be just inside here. I don't think it will be an issue, because it is just inside the function, right? It is not going to do anything outside. So okay, we will see. So here, right, find, let me find the syntax of this one, okay, because I know there will be request body ID, and I think we have to make it true something. I don't remember exactly what was that. So let me
We have to set it first.
can you say again?
Oh, I was saying, don't you have to use the function set and the new, we have to set it to true?
Yeah, use new URL path. There is some keyword, right? So basically you have the ID, you have this data, and function. There is a callback function also, right? If error console, but I don't want that. I think we don't need callback function, you know. One second now. So model find by ID and update, right? Here find model dot find by ID and update. So that is option, right? Optional. No, let's find by ID. There is some example. Update. So ID update the data and the options. What option we can pass here? Maybe just pass the blank object. I don't know. I mean, just pass it object for now. Right? Let's see. so that is done, right? That is there. Yeah, say again. Go ahead.
Yeah, inside there, the object, the empty object.
You mean here?
No.
This one, right?
And the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be to new true. You set new to true.
Oh, okay, yeah. That, right? Okay, that's fine. Okay, thanks. Because I know there was something I just don't remember, you know. There is option. I mean, even we can leave it, but it's better to leave that one, right? So that yeah, that's good. Okay, man. There is so many things. Maybe I will not remember. So please help me out. Okay. Now let's keep moving, right? Once we have this update user, so it will find the data, it will and update it, right? Update that information also automatically. It will basically doing two things: getting the data and updating. Find by ID and update, right? That is what it is doing. So we can write some error message now. So let's say we can call it update user by maybe ID, you know. Let's keep it like that, so it's different. So now we're gonna do some checking, right? So let's say if right, if no update data, right? Or maybe update user, then let me copy that. So we're just gonna use this. Okay, let me bring this two thing. Just repeat. I will just change the variable now, right? So it will be here update user and update user. So you can send the user or just write the message, right? Return, you can put 200 and then we just write a message. No need this. So also I don't need JSON, right? Oh, sorry, I don't need send something. Okay, I just put a message for the, and so we call it a user is updated, right? So now the problem is this two is fine. That is block, close. What is this? Then there is catch and that one, and finally here, right? Okay, so I believe this is okay, guys. So let's test this one, right? I just have to update user by ID function, send it here. Update user by ID, okay, send there. And then in the route now, right, I have to create a route. So that is update, that is a put. So see, it is also done with ID. We're gonna need ID, right? So you have to pass ID when you update. Also I need to get that, right? So update user by ID, I get that, and I'm gonna pass it here. Update user by ID, correct? So once we have done that part, okay, save this. all right, so we've done this now, right? Okay, let's test this one and then we move to the last one, delete part. Okay, go to our Postman and create one new more link here, copy that, so okay, let's, how we gonna update, right? We have to send the ID number also, right? So there are few things we have to pay attention. We need, let's say the first one I want to update, so I'm gonna need an ID number, right? Because when you click the update button, there will be a link, browser will be created like this, right? The route will be created and that route will fetch the form, update form, and the data will be added to the automatically added to the form. You do the updates. Let's say you are doing the update now, right? And you have the data something like this. So I'm gonna copy first. I'm just gonna copy this one and then make change. Okay, so that's the first one, right? With a, yeah. So body, so here in the bracket we're gonna put this data, right? Okay, so now I will add here Robert Welker updated name, right? And the email ID I can leave it same because I'm updating right now, so I can leave the email ID same, right? And yeah, so let's make the age also to 65. Okay, and send request. So let's hope for best, send request. Okay, what we get? God, Robert Welker, we did not get updated, right? My God. So let's check. I mean, this just returned this data, right? Well, it's added something there, but where is the updated name and all that? Let's go back and try to fetch here. Okay, see if, yeah, we did not, it did not update. Oh, I mean everything is same, right? 68, it did not change the name, it did not change. Okay, what is the issue now? I mean it will just run, right? There is, everything is success. So let's check in the control, right? I mean, where is that in the browser here? There is no issue. Update user by ID, update user by ID, we given the ID also, right? And in the controller, update user by ID, that is fine. Update user by ID, we send that one. So what happened? Find by ID. Yeah,
I think we have to use the set function, but I'm not sure where. I think by request.body we have to use. I'm not.
here. No, but that is request body, basically the object here, right? This is what we are sending, so that is the object. See, this request body will give us this object, right? So looks fine, but okay, one second, let me see something else also. So if update user, let's say update user, right? So that will be restart status, then So okay, that is fine. So basically return if there is a, why we are testing here, maybe, I mean, we're just updating, right? So okay, let's put no need to check. I mean, here I don't know what that it returns, what it return, right? What it will return, it should return maybe the same object. Okay, so let's not do that. User updated, right? Let's keep it like that. And then error, JSON message user is updated, right? I think because even with this function there will be something, right? It just give the old data only,
Okay, okay. Can I?
Yeah.
Maybe if we you see that request body, can
Here.
yeah, can you wrap it? Can you make it an object?
No, this will return object. This request body, right, gonna give us the object. So if you put in another object, again there will be like two object, right?
Oh,
Unless we just unless you put it like this, you can do it something like this, right? You put an object here and you just call it the name. You have the name there, right? Name, email, and age, right? You can send it like this also.
okay.
In
In front of it, $sign set, the function set, in front of that object.
Here, you mean you
Yeah.
add the like set and
yeah.
oh, that means you have to wrap in the, again you have to wrap in the object, right? This will be, because this is the part of the object, so you have to wrap with another object like this.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, let's try, right? Let's try that. It should work without even that, let's see. So now that's the same request, right? We have the request. Oh, sorry, the mistake, what happened, right? My god, guys, it was okay, look at here, I should have added the, where is put, that's the one. Okay, so let me try, right? Let me try what we have done is okay or not. So user is updated now, right? See that I forgot to, I was just getting something, right? So that's why I was getting, when you click that one, get, it will ignore this and get the single user, remember, with ID. That was the mistake. Okay. So let's go back here now and fetch the data, and we should have the new robot welker updated, name and age 65. Good to go. Okay, so our that link is also working, it updating, right? So we can leave it, I mean, we can leave it like this, that's okay. Where is that? We can leave it like to set, right? We can leave it like that, or even you can just leave it single object, it will still work, so let's leave it like that, no need to worry, as long as it's doing the job, right? That's okay. So next is the delete function, final, right? Finally, so const delete user by ID, right? And that async, right? So async will be request and response, and delete user by ID, request response. So when you delete something, right, and you need a ID, so same thing, same thing we're gonna do, right? Const ID equal to request dot params dot ID. Okay, because you're gonna click the user and the user has an ID, that will be make a link route, right? Localhost / that ID, and that ID we need and then we're gonna add the rest, right? So maybe delete will be same. Let's copy this whole thing. I don't know, that will be same, maybe not, right? Okay, let's write it. Let's write ourselves. This is the last one, and we're gonna have catch. So there will be error, and we can return response dot status, and if there is error we can pass maybe 400, whatever, and then send message, right? Or maybe JSON, just send a JSON. Okay, message colon error dot message, right? Message. So whatever message inside this error object, you're gonna send it like that. Now try part, let's go to the try. So let's call it const, maybe what we're gonna call here, right? Let's add it to the variable, right? Delete, delete, delete user, right? Equal to okay, delete user equal to what? So we have to await, right? Await, because we're gonna deal with the database. Await, and we call our model, so that is user model, right? Model user dot. So find by id and find one, or maybe find by id. Let's say find by id and delete here. That's the function from the MongoDB. So okay, so we just maybe just deleting, right? So we just pass the id here, simple underscore id colon id. Okay, done. So let's say if this is deleted, right? Let's say if there is nothing return, if there is nothing, right, then we're gonna have this message, and let's return this one also. So try inside the try. So we can say delete user. So no user found. Maybe that id, there is no user with that id, right? No user found with the id, something like that. Okay, and rest dot status 200, user is deleted, right? Deleted successfully. SUCCESSEFULL. Hope that spelling is okay. Successfully, right? And yeah, so I mean, you can send a message. So let's, that is okay, right? JSON. Let's send the I don't know. So this message, right? This message, why? Maybe we're gonna use in our front end, to display. When you delete something, you want to display the message, right? So maybe you want to send it. Let's see. We'll change it if later, right? If we have to. So let's try to delete now, right? Let's add that delete part. So let's. Oh, sorry guys, I need to still delete user by id. I have to send that function and go to controller and click create a delete, right? So there will be delete. Okay, so you have to pass the id, localhost / the id to delete, and then you call the function. First you have to import it here. So delete user by id, and you pass that one here. Okay, all right, so I hope this will work. Finger crossed. Let's try. It will work, so you just have to call the delete method now, and let's grab the, so we will just take this one. Okay, just take this first one link, right, and add here. And see, in this link localhost, I'm sending this id, right, and I'm adding the delete method, so that should user is deleted successfully, right? See, so if I go back to my get all, right, get all here and run, and I don't have in the database. Look at that. So guys, we've finished our backend, right? Creating database, connecting to server, create, read, update, delete, get single ID, update single item, delete single item, and all that. We have finished the basic of, not basic, but it's too much, right, for now. Okay, that's a lot. So we finished. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a break now, right, and then we're gonna start after lunch. Okay, so that next will be front end. So how the front end work, right? Let me quickly 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, install the cd front end, and inside this folder, right, we're gonna install. So what we're gonna install is, let me get the, we have a Vite here. We need to install the React now. I hope everyone remember, right, React. So let's install that. What is that here? So I want to install in the same folder. Okay, so I will put dot slash, because I want to add the React in the front end, right, and enter. Oh, it did not work. Okay, it worked. So I have to select React and enter. Then I'm gonna do JavaScript, enter, and I say cd, no need to cd, npm install. Okay, and it will install the packages, right, it will install that. So in my front end, what I will need, right, only I think router, React router DOM, just to create the routing. Okay, so we have to create routing also. You have to go from front page, get all user, you have to go to the update form, all that. So okay, so now we're done, right? So I will install npm install React router DOM, right, DOM. Okay, so it will install. So if you look at in the front end part, right, you're gonna see React router DOM added. Okay, that's added here. We need React icons, maybe no need, right? Oh, let's install npm install React icons, right? Okay, so what else we need? Oh, I need to add tailwind, because we're going to use tailwind, right? So let me get a tailwind here. Tailwind, how am I going to install that? Here, right? So I will go to the Vite. Installation project creation is done, right? I will copy this part and install that. And after that, we're gonna copy this. Okay, after we just gonna paste this thing to the tailwind config file, copy, click here and copy this thing, and tailwind config, and replace this with the copied document. Okay, and this is the last one, right? So copy that and place it in your index CSS. So where is that index? This is HTML source folder, index CSS, right? So I will remove everything from here. Okay, clean this up and add that file. Okay, so if you look at this CSS, right, this will be in the main.js, I believe. Yeah, main.js, that's the root. Okay, that's the root, right? That's the main.js, and app is here, right? App is here. So I will just delete everything from the app. React arrow function create, and did not work. Why? Save React arrow function create export. Okay, I got the app ready now, right? So if I go back and test if my tailwind is working or not. I say busy orange, maybe 600. I think it's working already, and add some py, right? Maybe 4. Okay guys, let's check now. So front end npm start. Oh, npm run, right? Because this is what is that? Vite npm run development, right? And if you go back here and look at this, so our front end is connected and working right now. So we're gonna create front end part now, right? We're gonna have all this. First we're gonna add all the routings, like we need the get all page, right? Then user, add user, then update. When you click, you need to have an update route also. So yeah, so that is all we're gonna do. So let's start after lunch. Okay guys, so I will stop here for now. Stop recording.